Hi there, my name is Lauren Stone, and this is our van, Sam, the Ram van. My husband Jason and I converted this van. We bought it last July 2024, and we spent about a year converting it, and now it is finished, and I have been waiting to do a full van tour, and it is only right that we officially do it on our first full day of being, I guess, official van lifers, as our house closed yesterday. So this is it. This is all we got, us and our two dogs. Our two dogs are in camp right now, which is why they're not here. But I guess this is it, and I'm gonna take you for a little tour. So come on in. Oh, the socks are here. I'm gonna move that. I guess first I will show you our driving area. Jason put in these nice beaded seats. But as you can see, we have a swivel seat right here in the front. There's just a little latch, swivels around for an extra workspace. This counter folds out. We can use it as extra desk space, since we both work remotely. And it's also extra counter space for us in the kitchen, but it's super easy. It just has little latches on the bottom and then locks shut. You're also in the bathroom. So up here, we keep our toiletries, like our toilet paper, paper towels, trash bags, things like that. All of our cabinets have magnets. I think they're like 30-pound magnets here. Slow close. And they stay shut while we're driving around, so that way things don't like go flying. Up here, we have all of our towels, our face cloths. We have, what are those things called? Microfiber. We have microfiber cloths. We also keep our pans, our pots, and our butane stove, our 1-burner butane stove. So I'll show you that in a second. Here's the throne. So under here, you can see we have a lid. This is our Trillino composting toilet. Height-wise, it is like the most comparable to like a toilet size that you would have at your house. But yeah, so it has a spot for the number 2s and a spot for the number 1s. I'll be honest, we have not done a number 2 in this toilet yet. It's like emergencies only, but we keep a little trash can here that is only for TP and for feminine products. And then behind we keep the composting stuff just in case, you know, someone's gonna do the deed. We've gotten really comfortable with digging holes and going outside. That is our toilet. That brings us to our dining / secondary work area. This is probably where we spend like most of our time when we're just hanging out. I would say like the table itself is a little bit low, but this was the height of the table stand that we got. But it actually works out well. So we can sit here to eat, we can sit here to work. We have our morning coffee and we have different views from our window, which is awesome. We'll have our little morning chats. But the good thing about this is we made our layout specifically because we have 2 dogs, Miles and Potato. They're like medium-sized dogs. They jump around, they're going up and down all the time. So we needed something that was gonna be convenient for them. So what we do is we got this to be an adjustable table. So under here we have these 2 posts, and this little knob basically just untwists. We can put this down as I move the cushions. Ooh. So smooth. And then I tighten this here. And then usually what we do is we just put like a thick blanket on here. When we're driving, they usually sit on the bed. They like to snuggle up and be as close to us as humanly possible. But when we're all just hanging out, we'll take this bed and we'll put it on here. We have more space, they have more seating, but that way they can run and jump and lay down and do all the things that they want to do. So that's kind of our, I guess, dining / living / bathroom. And I will say, I have gotten some grief on the internet about don't poop where you eat, right? Like the toilet being so close to where you might sit and eat. But again, we don't go number 2. We keep everything pretty sanitary, I'd say. So I don't know. We haven't had a problem with it, but to each their own. I guess next, I will take you into the kitchen. So come on in. So we have this fold-out table, as we showed you before. All the counter space. We have a butcher block countertop, which, yes, I cut and stained myself. Thank you very much. Very proud of it. And then we have, I think this is like a, don't quote me, 15 by 15 inch sink sounds about right. I wanted a deep sink because I knew that dishes were going to stack up. I didn't want clutter to be everywhere. So I got it to be, it's a little bit dirty right now. Sorry about that. I wanted it to be like as deep as possible. So it actually has worked out really, really well. We have this nice faucet here. Up here is where we keep all of like our coffee, really all of our food. We haven't really gone shopping, but we've got a decent amount. So we keep all of our food up in here. It's a little bit messy right now. We're usually a little bit more organized. There is like a basket in here that we use to organize, but such is life. We just moved in yesterday. We're doing the best that we can. And then up here is our little spice rack. This is just a book light because I always wake up earlier and I wanted a book light to not be obnoxious. So yeah, so we have our spice rack, usually have produce here. Again, haven't gone shopping. We have our 12-volt fridge. Do you remember? Oh, the bodega. We got a 12-volt bodega fridge, and inside, as you can see, it's actually been really, really helpful. Like, I'm genuinely surprised at how well this thing has worked for us. And it even has a freezer right here. And if you don't need the freezer, which not everybody needs the freezer, you can change the temperature on it so that way your fridge is just bigger. And then in this drawer here, this is kind of the thing that we are still learning and figuring out. We've tried a lot of different like organizational type of things. This, I think, setup has been what has worked the best. So in this big drawer, we have all of our plates, our cups, we have our kettle, we have oven mitt, things to wash dishes, AeroPress, so coffee, dishes, kitchen things, right? All of our drawers are slow close. They are supposed to lock, okay? I'm just gonna be honest. See, this is what all right, let's just be honest. These things are not very good, okay? They're not, but they look cute from afar. Anyway, so it's supposed to lock. But as you'll see in some of these drawers, they don't lock. They don't lock. They broke, okay? So on the drawers, we ended up having to put these because when we were driving around, the drawers slid. And so the push locks all broke on them. So instead we added these little hooks here to keep everything closed while we drive. And at some point in the future, we will we'll replace them. But that's what works for now. So in the top drawer is like our catch-all drawer. It's like our junk drawer, I guess. But it keeps our glasses, contacts, and then just miscellaneous things, electronics, cords, whatever. Our next drawer, as you can see, again, does not push to close anymore. This is all of our other kitchen stuff. So utensils, wine opener, knives, peelers. So kitchen stuff. Slow close. Down below this is all of our bathroom stuff. So deodorant, medicines, face wash, toothbrush, things like that. So this is like bathroom stuff. And then the very bottom one is we made a drawer specifically deep enough to hold things like our shampoo, our soaps, our laundry detergent, our cleaning supplies. And we have all of our dog stuff down here too. Next is this bench that we also made to be storage because again, small space. You must use as much of the small space as possible. So in this, one thing I would like to do in the future is to be able to add the gas struts, but they were really obnoxious to try to install. On one side, we have all of our shoes and our laundry. On the other side, we usually have our dog food here, but the dogs are in daycare, so they have the food. So we'll keep that and our first aid kit, and then just like our cutting board and cooling rack. Oh, and dirty clothes, of course. You have to have a spot for dirty clothes, and when they get stinky, you don't want them out and about. So we keep them
leaning on the cutting board.
You It's in a bag. We have stinky clothes on the cutting board. I'm sorry. So then as we move along, up here, this belongs to Jason, and then this belongs to me. Okay, so I'm gonna show you mine. It's nice and organized. This is where I keep my bulky sweaters, socks, underwear, and then this is Jason's. Okay, I don't know how he's gonna find anything in here, but he's got his bulky sweaters. He's got his socks, his winter jacket. It works. He does his thing, I do mine, whatever. Up here, my favorite little cute nook is our bookshelf. So we have our books. We have a little basket that holds things like a Polaroid camera, some notepads, a speaker, a sound machine, because sometimes it gets a little too quiet in here. So just kind of like a catch-all of things. But yeah, our cute little open shelf. I love. And then if you keep, Okay. And then if we keep going on, this is Jason's side, this is my side. So Jason's got his clothes up here. It's squeaky, I know. You know, we did this ourselves, we're learning, but it's not the end of the world. And then my clothes over here. Oh, that noise is atrocious, but it is what it is. Now you have entered the bedroom. This is a queen size mattress that we built pretty much just using, what, 2x4s? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we used 2x4s and we had slats that we had from our previous bed. We cut the mattress, I'd say probably about 6 inches on the end just to be able to fit it, because with the walls and the insulation and the framing, it did take off a couple inches. Sometimes we have to sleep a little diagonal, but with the dogs and stuff, but we make it work. We also added bunk windows on either end. As you can see, we specifically did not put cabinets on this side. Yes, we realize that it is less storage space, but I think that we both agreed that it's already such a small space with 2 dogs and it would have felt like claustrophobic, I feel. So we opted out from that, and I am so glad that we didn't, because I've seen videos of people like bonking their heads and stuff. The bunk windows slide open here. And then on the ceiling, we have our Max air fans. We have one in the back, one in the front. And with that, the air circulates through very, very well. So it keeps it nice and cool in here. We're heading into winter, so we're not really needing to use them as much. And then on here, we do not have windows back here, but we got these magnetic window covers anyways. They're insulated and they have little pockets. So that way we can put, I don't know, a book, glasses, Oreos, snacks, more snacks, chocolate snacks. We love snacks. What's also cool is on both sides of the bed, we added 12-volt outlets that have chargers. So it has a USB and 2 USB-Cs in here. And so we have one on either end. So it is nice that we can plug something in, charge at night, and then we can just kind of tuck it in here. Well, I guess I'll come back out here. Under here, this door is access to our garage, which I'll show you in a little bit. Pretty much what we have in here, it's just extra storage. So we have extra thick blankets for when it gets too cold. I'm gonna move this. We have our Starlink under here, and then we have 2 baskets that basically just hold extra stuff. Electronics, we actually have a projector. We haven't used it yet in the van. We did use it when we were at the house, so I'm really excited to test that out. But we'll put like our wine bottles and stuff back there, so that way glass doesn't like rock about. But yeah, just 2 extra means of storage. And if we do need to access the garage, it's really easy to have this here. So real quick, I'll just mention the floors. These are LVP. We got them specifically because they were also waterproof. They were a little bit more expensive, and we did it throughout the entire van, even in the spots that you can't see, because I was really paranoid about moisture and water getting through, because I've seen some really just like bad horror stories of mold and things. So we got these floors. Next, I will show you the plumbing. Where do I begin? We have a lot in this van. Okay. I know. So for our plumbing, we have a 34-gallon freshwater tank that's in the garage. And with that, we have access to be able to have hot water shower outside, which I'll show you in a second, and hot water in our sink if we so please. So under here, these are super magnetic. Okay. So we have in the back is we have a Camp Lux electric water heater, and we have a Seaflow accumulator and an RV Guard water pump, which it doesn't have a switch, it's automatic. So when you turn on the water, it runs. When it's done, shuts off. It understands the pressure, so it turns on and off as needed. The hot water heater, we don't have it on all the time. We only turn it on when we want to take a hot shower pretty much, or need hot water in the sink. And then we have a 5-gallon gray tank that we empty regularly with just a quick release. So we're able to dump it as needed. You heard that. And then where do we shower? Well, let me show you.
Grab the hose.
Yes. The hot water heater, words are hard. So we actually have a port under here, right here, that we will connect this hose, and it allows us to take a shower. And it has different settings on it and stuff, and we can lock it if needed. But yeah, it's really not that complicated actually. And then we just store this up here when we don't need it, because we shower mostly at Planet Fitness. So we've only had to use that twice. We did it once with the dogs. It is helpful. While we haven't used it that much, I know it's going to come in handy in the future. So for the electric down here, we have a couple nifty little things down here. We've got our battery monitor, which shows us basically the percentage of how much battery we have left. We have this outlet here, which is turned on and on from our inverter. By our inverter. So our inverter allows us to use 120 volts, which is what these are. All we gotta do is just hit that button, hit a little beep, and then now we can use it. And then all we gotta do is turn it off. And then this knob here turns on our 12 volt puck lights, dimmable, so we can set the mood. I don't know how much you can tell right now because it's so bright out, but yeah. I guess I didn't show this over here, but we have another one of those strips here. Again, the 120 volt, so it turns on by our inverter. And then we have a 12 volt here, which we haven't even used yet, but when we get some 12 volt appliances, it'll be nice and easy to use right there. So let's see, what am I missing up front? We also installed this window. This didn't exist here before. I forgot to mention this. We opted out of putting the stovetop into it because it would have taken up a ton of space. I heard it wastes a ton of battery. And honestly, the butane stove I've had forever and it's worked out very well. So I'm gonna pull that out so you can see what we have for cooking. So we just pull this out and it's dirty, but it works. And it is our butane stove. Butane turns on super, super easy. We are probably gonna upgrade to a 2-burner or just get a second one of these so that way we can cook multiple things now that we'll be full time. I guess we should go onto the garage. So this is our garage. It looks like a crazy mess, but it's actually like perfectly organized for what we need. So we have a ladder here that is collapsible. I think it's called a telescope ladder. It's so we're able to access the roof if we need to tighten anything, clean the solar panels. We have stackable crates that keep extra set of tools, water filters. We have an air compressor and also acts as a battery charger in case something happens when we're on the side of the road and our van dies out or we have to fill up the tires. So yeah, it's just kind of like a collection of various things that we need sometimes, maybe not always, but good to have. So as you can see, we've added extra hooks here. Super convenient, okay? Just to hang whatever, wet towels, stinky shoes, whatever you need to add extra space. This was really smart. You should do it if you're building your van. Back here is our 34-gallon freshwater tank. Right here, this hose here, this is how we connect it. We have our water filter that connects to our hose and that gets connected into whatever spigot we're filling it. So pretty easy stuff here. We also have this hose right here. Something we learned about our freshwater tank is that when you fill water into the tank, air must come out. We thought that we could just have a little port right up here, then air would come out and it would be fine. But somebody on one of my videos suggested that if that were the case, we're just gonna have water spilling everywhere. So it taught us this nifty little trick that this hose is gonna come all the way out and there's a hole already through this down here that goes straight out to the floor. So you fill it up nice to the top. If any water spills while you're driving around, water goes out the bottom. You don't have to drill a hole through the floor. It was brilliant, so thank you so much for that. On the other side, we have 2 lithium batteries, and this is gonna be all of our electric. It has our charge controller, our inverter, our DC to DC, which the DC to DC allows us to be able to charge our batteries if, say, it's not sunny out. We had a period of time where it was like cold and rainy for multiple days. We couldn't charge it from the sun. So we can just hook up our DC to DC to the battery of the van and it charges it for us. So that's super helpful. And then we have like the kill switches that are easily accessible just in case something were to happen. We can turn all of the power off nice and easy. I guess the final thing is our bug screens. It's not buggy right now, so we haven't needed to use them, but I'm gonna show you them now. We have one for the back of the garage in case we wanna keep these open and let the air flow through without having bugs come in. It's also like a great gatekeeper for the dogs because it confuses them. They're like, I can't get out. Obviously they could definitely get out, but so. This thing has multiple ways of being used. I love this thing. So it can be fully closed all the way down. Or if you just need to access something in the garage real quick, ta-da! Or you can do this safely. Usually I have Jason helping me, but he's filming. Thanks, honey.
You got it. You do got it.
I do got it. So, if it's too sunny or if it's raining out, you can still have the bug screen open, right? You're still getting the air, you can still see outside, but this protects you, keeps you dry, keeps you safe from the sun. This comes down to, ta-da, in case you need to come in that way for some reason. I don't know why you need to, but you can. You can if you want to. I guess I'll take it down now. Okay. Come on round, because we also have one for the front. And what's cool about this one is that it's a magnet. So this just closes like that. So you can hang out, get the airflow that you need, and if you need to come in and out, well, usually it snaps back shut. So I think that about wraps up the van tour. Again, we built this thing all by ourselves without any experience, so there's a lot of kinks and a lot of quirks that we are realizing now, but I'm gonna do some other videos that talk about the things that we absolutely love about our van and the things that we absolutely would have definitely done differently and would highly suggest that you do differently. So please make sure to subscribe, stick around to see some of those videos and what we're gonna be doing on our travels. You gotta meet our dogs if you haven't yet. They're amazing. Plane's going by. If you have any questions about our van, feel free to leave those in the comments. I have an entire playlist that is all about our van build from start to finish. Feel free to check that out. But yeah, I guess that's that. And until next time, bye guys. Make an appearance, honey. Shake, shake, shake. Yeah, baby. Here he is, the man of the hour.